The We Fly school could be enforcing a no-fly zone with its new policy. Ball State University's policy on unmanned aircraft systems, or drones, places new restrictions on what pilots can and cannot do. Despite the growing criticism around the policy, Director of Public Affairs and Government Relations at the Academy of Model Aeronautics, Chad Boudreau, says that the policy may break FAA regulation.
Right now, as the law stands, they do not have the authority to regulate what goes on in the airspace.
Boudreau says the main problem is in the first part of the procedures section of the policy, where it says operators must apply for approval of a flight 14 days in advance.
That alone has multiple issues. For one, even recent court cases from a couple months ago have overturned cities that have tried a very similar policy.
Other concerns about the 14-day policy is the weather. In an opinion article written by Drone Camp CEO Matt King, he says that weather forecasts aren't available 14 days in advance, asking the question, how can a pilot expect to fly a drone by giving the Office of Risk Management a 14-day notice when he or she cannot even acquire a weather briefing? In November, the Academy of Model Aeronautics reached out to the director of the Office of Risk Management, Kim Miller, expressing their concerns, saying, quote, "In seeking to restrict where and how drones and UAS can fly, the BSU drone policy attempts to regulate airspace and aircraft operations, which is the sovereign authority of the U.S. government." Newslink Indiana reached out to the university, but they were not immediately available to comment. At other state universities, the policies are a little different and a little less strict. Indiana University at Bloomington's policy, which has more than twice as many students as Ball State, says all members of the Indiana University community are personally responsible for complying with FAA regulations, state and federal laws, and university policies. Plus, they must have all licenses in order and register with the university. As for now, students without proper clearance from the university will have to stay grounded.
It's a complex issue, and we extend, as we have before, we have contacted Ball State, and we'll continue to be an open door to Ball State. We're happy to provide resources, guidance, and our insight on what the correct path is.
In Muncie, Tanner Holbrook, Newslink, Indiana.